All right, everyone. So we can start now. Thank you to everyone who has reminded everyone. Thank you. If you're just joining us, please, I mentioned that you should mention your track in the comment section. And if you were invited, you can also just put it there that I was invited. Thank you very much. Welcome. For those that are just joining, welcome, Shakira. Welcome, Lovely. Welcome. Yeah, thank you. All right, so we are about to start now. So good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Okolua, and quite a number of you are already familiar with me, right? So I'm a representative of Tech It Girls team, and I am officially welcoming us to the town hall meeting for this month, where we'll be discussing how to craft an innovative CV. Like we all know, in this present, is it economy I'll call it now, in this present generation that we are, one of those things that is very, very important when you want to sell yourself out is also your CV. Yes, I know that some of us will also talk about, oh, what about personal branding? What about how I brand myself? Yes, we'll still also have time to talk about those ones in the coming months. We'll have a session for that as well. But one of the things that is very important is also your CV. A CV is like your selling point. It's like a summary of who you are. And before an organization will call you for an interview, before they will call you for something, the first thing they will ask of you is, where is your CV, where is your resume? And it is the information, the detailed information, how you are able to give them a very unique selling point about you. So that's one of the things that is very important when we in the job market, right? So I'm encouraging everybody to please pay rapt attention to the session today, because it is a session that you are going to need, especially if you are just setting out. Maybe you're a young graduate here. Maybe you're just okay. Maybe aside from being a graduate, maybe you're also switching from one career to another, to a tech career. So you are definitely going to need it. You need to know a way you can craft your CV such that even as an entry level person, the organization is still willing to um reach out to you because of how well you were able to craft your CV. Of course, it's also based on the knowledge that you have, but there's a way you can present it, and all of these things will work well in your favor. So that's I'm just trying to give you the basis of what we are doing today, and I'm looking forward to an amazing session with our speaker. Thank you very much. So right now, so what we'll be doing is to meet ourselves. You already started that by saying mentioning your track. So I know that we don't just have Nigerians among us. So please, if you're able to unmute your mic, I would just like to meet us. I want us to unmute ourselves. Just tell us your name, um, what you do, and then the country you are joining in from. Please, I will appreciate that we are able to unmute ourselves and talk, even if it's just 3, 5 people. And if everybody is able to unmute, that's going to be very amazing. So please unmute yourself, your name, the country you are calling in from, and then what you do. Thank you. So who is going first?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Jadida.
My name is Jedida Ondiso. I'm from Kenya. Currently, I'm a customer care representative, and I'm in data analysis track. Looking forward to transition into the tech space. Thank you.
Amazing, Jadida. Thank you very much. Thank you. Who is going next? Do you want us to call names? Somebody should go next. Jadida has opened the floor for us, please. Should I call name? Okay, Zeddy.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you get me clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, my name is Zedi Veitun. I'm in customer service at currently, but cybersecurity red team, looking to also transition into tech. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya.
Yes, yes, yeah, you can. All right, thank you, Zeddy. Thank you very much. So who's going next? Do you want me to call names? Okay, Annie. Can Annie hear me?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm Anne from
Okay,
Kenya. I'm in
awesome.
the cybersecurity track.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so who's going next now? The cast. The cast Buluwatife. The cast, can you hear us?
Yes, sorry, I just joined in. I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're just meeting ourselves, your name, your track.
Oh, okay.
Were you invited or are you one of our team members? And then what you do. Thank you.
Oh, okay. My name is Boluwatife Doctors. I'm from the data analysis track.
All right, thank you, Buluwatife. Thank you so much. Let's have just two more questions. Timmy, your mic is muted.
Yes, good
All right,
morning. I'm Timidayo.
all right,
I'm from Nigeria here, and
awesome,
then I'm on UI UX design track.
awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Timmy. Okay, just one more person so we can go right into why we are here today, because I know it's weekend. Let's have one more person. So who would that be? Who is willing to go? Okay, I'll mention him. Lorraine. Lorraine, are you with us? Lorraine or Shakira? Anyone who is able to hear me should please.
Hello, I'm
Hi.
Shakira by name. I'm from Nigeria and
Thank
I'm
you.
in data analysis track.
All right. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Thank you,
welcome.
everyone. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for everyone who spoke. Okay, Victoria, your mic is unmuted. You want to speak?
No,
All right.
just join.
All right. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. All right, so thank you. So just before we go right into why we are here today, just a few rules. So the major one is that please let us ensure that our mics are muted. Let us ensure that our mics are muted all through. But whenever you need to talk, maybe you want to ask question or something, please you can raise your hand, use the raise hand button, or you use the chat box to ask the question, right? So please let's ensure that our mics are muted also. There's a need to talk, like I said, please raise your hand. And I think that's like the major rule. So that this is just to help us to ensure that we have a nice time together. So the reason why we are here today, we already have our guests. We already have our guest in our midst. So I'll be reading her profile. While I read her profile, then she would join us. Um, all right. So let's go to our profile. Sorry, my mic was muted for a minute. All right, so our guest speaker for today is Miss Opeyemi Oluwalusi. She is an HR professional who currently leads the People and Culture Department in Land Republic. As a trusted advisor to both leadership and employees, she excelled in building strong relationships and fostering open communication channels across all levels of the organization. By championing diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, Opeyemi strives to create environments where every voice is heard and valued. So with a clapping ovation, I want to say our clapping emoji. She's not going to come up. If you're not clapping, I'll not allow her to come up. With a clapping emoji, let me start seeing you clapping. Either in the comment section, either by reaction. I want us to clap for our guest minister, even as she comes up. Only one person is clapping for our guest minister. Sorry, our guest speaker. Sorry. Our guest speaker. Only one person is okay. I am seeing more hands. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Miss Opeyemi Oluwalusi, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Good morning. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Alright. So my name is Opeyemi. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I didn't get the name of the person that was doing the introduction.
My name is Opolua.
All right. Hi, Opolua. My name is Opeyemi, everyone. And you're welcome to today's, town hall meeting where we would basically just be talking about crafting an innovative CV. But before we start, what I usually do, when I have to interact with a couple of people is I like to, first of all, understand what your expectations are for this town hall meeting, right? So that way, it would also help me to tailor whatever it is I'm going to be doing right down into it. So I think Ope Oluwa, I'm sorry, I think I got your name right. So maybe we could leave the floor for like a couple of people to just, tell us what their expectations are, right? And then maybe they are done, then I will just take it up from there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so we all heard that. So we already know why we are here today. So, but we would like to hear from you. What are your expectations from this meeting? We experienced from during the week you have been explaining to us what we want to do. So, but from you, what are your expectations from the theme of this meeting? So please. I wouldn't want to call names again this time, so I'd like somebody to also take the lead once again. So what are your expectations? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Loveline.
Welcome, Lovely.
Okay, so my expectations is just to find out why, most times that we apply for jobs with our CV and we get rejected, and majorly that's just why. The reasons, if someone can help us get the major reasons why. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Lovely. So Lovely wants to know why people are often rejected when they submit CV, or if I can help you reframe that, like probably you send out your CV and you're not getting any positive response, not even a call for interview. Thank you, Lovely, for that. Who else wants to follow Lovely? Please, I need people to talk. I don't want to go about calling names this time. Please. What are your expectations from this meeting? And if you want me to call names, I'll call names. Should I go ahead? Glory. Can Glory hear me? Glory, can you hear me? Okay. If Glory cannot hear me, Anna. Can Anna hear me? Anna Atoyebi.
Yes, I can.
All right, Glory. So we are asking the question, what are your expectations from this meeting?
As my expectation, most of it is to understand as we do the application, to understand what those who are, let's say like the hiring managers, to understand what they really look for when they see your CV. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Let's do one more person. Let me ask Semi. Semi, would you like to say something? Okay, I'm not sure if Temi is here. Praise, would you like to say something? Okay, Folashade is raising her hand. Folashade, thank you. You can speak.
Oh, okay. My question is, or what I want to know. So someone said that if you want to get an international job, that you need to probably go on VPN. So you make them believe that probably maybe you're targeting US. So you make them believe that you actually stay there. You understand? So because I notice that most times when I apply for international jobs, most times I get rejected. And even if I go through the interview process and they ask, oh, where are you from? And I tell them I'm from Nigeria, they just, just end the interview. And so someone advised me getting a VPN. So I want to find out if that would actually, help me in getting an international job, or I don't need a VPN. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Folashade, for that. Thank you so much. So I have two people in the comment section. They said, my expectation from this meeting is to know what makes a CV catchy or stand out in the recruitment process. And then another person said, I would like to know how to structure my CV for an entry-level position. For example, cybersecurity, with no experience yet. Another person said, I am still a student and I haven't really been exposed to the business world. But I do hear most times that people get rejected or are not called at all when they apply for a job. I would like to know what they are not doing right. So, yeah. So, thank you very much to everyone who responded. I feel like all of our questions are still boiled down to one thing. We really want to know what do they really want on a CV. Thank you very much for all of your responses. Over to you, Ms. Okoyemi. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much everyone for that. So I think I'll just go right into it. I have a PDF that I would be sharing at the end of the session, so you can feel free to ask me for it. And basically what I'm going to be talking about today is going to be based on whatever it is I have written down in the PDF. So like what the town hall meeting for today talks about, it talks about crafting an innovative curriculum vitae, which is otherwise known as a CV. And I would start with the first thing that you need to understand here when you want to craft your CV is you need to have a purpose. You need to understand the reason why you are crafting a CV. Because ideally, your CV is your marketing and personal tool that you would use to showcase your qualifications, your skills, your experience, and the likes, right? And basically, the primary goal of your CV there is to get you noticed by the recruiter in the company that you're interested in, and to secure an interview for the role in which you are like applying to, right? So ideally, you want to understand that the reason why I'm crafting this CV is because I want to get a job, or it's because I need to get an internship, I need to get a big time position, I need to get a managerial position. There has to be like a reason as to why you are crafting the CV, right? And then followed by that, we would have researching the industry. So ideally, when you understand the reason why you crafted your CV, or why you want to craft your CV, why you need to have a CV, then the following thing that you would need to do is to research the industry, or you research the field that you're particularly interested in. So I would say the techie girls, I'm sure you guys would have a lot of field. You have the data analytics, you would have project management, software engineering. Those are fields, right? However, for me now, as an example, that I work as a software engineer. I'm giving an instance now. I need to be able to research on the industry I'm interested in. Am I interested in the oil and gas industry? Am I interested in the consulting industry? Am I interested in the marketing industry or the real estate industry? It really sort of depends, because each of these industries have their demands. They have what they're looking out for in your CVs, right? So after you understand your purpose, after you understand every single thing that your CV is meant to be for, right? Then the following thing is when you research the industry. So like I said, different industries have different expectations for CVs. So for instance, the hospitality industries, they would want to, see your skills in converting DMs to clients, right? Consulting firms might want to actually see your research skills, your ability to research and give a lot of insights in the industry trend. So basically, you have to be able to research what the standard is in your industry, and then you can now apply it to your CV, right? So again, you understand that there is a purpose for why you are creating a CV, and then your job, you kind of already have a job that you're interested in, right? Like I'm saying that the reason why you have a purpose for your CV is that it encompasses you as a person, and then your job description as well. So when you find a purpose, you know that okay, I want to do data analysis, I want to be a data analyst rather, or I want to be a project manager. All of these are in the purpose of the CV. So when you understand what exactly it is that you want to do, then it kind of help you to streamline the purpose of why you are writing a CV. And then the third thing that I would talk about is, choosing the right format, which is where literally everybody gets it wrong. So as HR person, when I was working in Wema Bank, I do kind of process a lot of CVs every day. So for instance, let me say I'm recruiting for marketing associates in the bank, and I would get like maybe 200 CVs, or I get like 300 CVs. And eventually at the end of the day, maybe just 5 people would qualify, or maybe 10 people would qualify. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the rest of the 250 or the rest of the 150 that applied for the job, they didn't qualify. It just basically means that based on what my company is looking for and my company goals and business objective, there are just 5 people that were able to streamline their experience and their CV down to what we are looking out for, right? So now when you're able to choose the right formats, then you can apply that format to the job that you're applying for. So, choosing the right format basically means that you are able to focus on your skills and experiences rather than just work history, which is where a lot of people, they get it wrong. But I'll get to that in a moment. So while traditional CVs are structured chronologically, you can consider other formats such as, the functional CV, where you focus more on your skills, where you focus more on your, your experiences, rather than just talking about your work history. Your work history, where you just talk about, I processed, applications, I did this and did that. So you're just reading out your job description. You're not necessarily talking about the experiences, the creativity or the strategy that you brought on board as a staff of that organization. And then we have the combination CV, right? So combination CV is more or less like a blend of both the chronological CV and the functional CV. Again, the normal CV that everybody do have is the traditional CV, where you just list out your job description, right? But then the functional CV is where you focus more on your skills, your experiences, rather than just your work history. And then combination CV, you have a blend of both. And then infographic CV is where you use graphics and visuals to represent your skills and experience. For the tech industry, right, if I'm to do like a technical recruitment, and let's say I'm looking for a software engineer, you're not going to be giving me a chronological CV and I'm going to take that, or you're going to give me a combination CV. What I want to see is your projects, your portfolios, the things that you've done, maybe the website or the codes that you've built, your projects and every single thing. Those are like the infographic CVs, right? You put the links of every project that you've handled into that CV, so that we can take it over. This person has his skills in maybe Tableau, in R, in SPSS, in coding, HTML, CSS, and the likes like that. Yeah. So there is also that part. And after you've chosen the right format, then the next thing that you want to like look at is your personal branding, which I think Opolua kind of mentioned, but I'm not really going to go into that. But I will just just talk on the surface. So your personal branding basically just reflects your personal identity, more or less like you choose a professional color that's that enhances your CV readability. So ideally, if you are doing a CV, you don't want to pick color yellow or you want to pick a random color. So I would say most of the time when people do CVs, they usually go between blue and black or white. And I feel like most of those colors just kind of have like a corporate meaning to them, right? So also you want to also use clean modern fronts that encompasses and give the recruiter a very good understanding of what it is that you're trying to pass across. So there is that, and then after you've done all those things, when it comes to now drafting the CV, there is the contact information, there is a personal statement or professional summary, there is the skills, there is the tools, there is experience, there's education, certification, and then references. So for the personal statement, you actually want to start with a strong personal statement, and you ask. By doing this, you are crafting, a compelling personal statement at the top of your CV, which basically highlights your career objectives, your strength, and what makes you unique and stand out from other applicants. You don't want to say, "Oh, my name is," I'm giving an instance, right? My name is Abigail, and I'm interested in your application, or I'm interested in vacancy in your company, which basically entails, and then you now list the job functions. So that's not what you're going to be doing. So ideally, yeah, you would say that, okay, I am a software engineer with 3 years of experience then you mention the programming languages that you are most familiar with or you are very good at, and then you also mention the values that you are bringing on board to the organization. That is how you craft a very strong and appealing personal statement. So now moving forward, then you highlight your key skills and achievement, right? So like I said earlier, for the chronological type of CV where you just list out the job functions and everything, that is traditional and is long gone, long gone. And there is a lot of reasons why people don't get called after they submit their CV is because you don't list out your key experience, achievements, skills, and everything. You just list out job functions, your job descriptions, and everything like that, and you just submit the CVs. So instead of doing that, you want to highlight the skills that are relevant to the job that you're applying to, and then you also want to mention the achievements that you've been able to do while you were working in that role. So you would use specific quantitative quantitative achievements to demonstrate your impact. So for me, as an example, if I'm applying to a talent recruitment job, right, I'm not going to be submitting a CV that basically states I'm the people and culture lead, right? So my CV is going to be more encompassing in the sense that I want to talk about my 360 recruitment skills, in the sense that I know the beginning of the recruitment down to the onboarding. So by the job description says talent recruitment or talent acquisition, it basically means that you are going to be doing a lot of recruiting. You are going to be bringing a lot of people on board, right? So basically that's how you kind of differentiate your CV from other set of CVs, when you are able to talk about your key achievements. You talk about the things that you were able to bring on board. So if, for instance, I'm the people and culture lead right now, and I want to apply to a job that says, let's say people and culture manager or employee relations manager for let's say the top 4 in Nigeria, the things I'm going to be highlighting, I'm not going to be listing out my job description. I'm not going to be listing out my job history. I will say, okay, my time at Land Republic, I was able to bring in, let's say, 50 innovations or employee engagements. I was able to settle 100 conflicts or sensitive conflicts between employees. I was able to bring in 30 projects and events, which aligned with the company business goals and every single thing. So you will see that my CV is more unique to me, because that's like what I did, or that's what I've done in the past. I'm not just listing, as people and culture lead, I'm to do recruitment, and to do create policies, and to make sure that everybody in the company comply with every single policy that we create. You see that there's kind of like two difference between the CVs, right? So then moving on to the next, you want to make your CV very much interactive, and then you play around with your visual elements. So for digital CVs, which most of us, we want to, that's the reason why we're here. For digital CVs, you want to consider adding interactive elements. Now, interactive elements doesn't necessarily mean a lot. It just means that you are adding links like your projects, your portfolios, your relevant work, your LinkedIn profile link, and every single thing like that. That's like an hyperlink, right? And then you want to probably include your QR code, to like maybe your online portfolio or your video resume. Your video resume will basically just highlight your skills as a software engineer. You play around. So for video resume kind of work, for people that like, you're into coding and everything, you play around with the website that you use and you just add the QR code or thereabouts to your CV. So there's also, incorporating visual elements to make your CV stand out, where we have, icons for your contact information. We have the graphs and charts to visualize your skills, your language, and your achievements. So I think I've had a time where I had to work on someone's CV and I had to just do that chart of a thing. So the chart basically states that, okay, in communication I am probably like 80% very good in communication. In Excel, Microsoft Office tools, I'm kind of very good in this particular aspect, right there about. So I'm better in presentation, Office, PowerPoint, and Teams more than I am good in Outlook and Word or Excel thereabouts. So you kind of play around with that. So your recruiter kind of understand that, okay, if you recruit this person is more skilled in PowerPoint, Word, or Outlook than in MS Word and the likes. So although I included that you can include a professional headshot, but I really do not advise including a professional headshot, especially if you are applying to an international company or multinational companies. So take, for instance, you're a Nigerian and you want to apply to, companies in the US. I am against, adding anything that has to do with your color, because take it or leave it, you are in Nigeria and that's like the number one red flag. You coming from Nigeria, right? There was a time I did a recruiting contract for an international consulting firm in the US. And so for most of the time that we would recruit for, let's say, software engineers, most of the time we do not take people that are from Africans. And that's because by the time you check the CVs of people that are from Africans, despite the fact that there's like a red flag or there is like a black point already for people that are from Africa, the CVs that we also get to, they are not so compiling. So if you're able to scale through the CV, checking out the CVs and everything, one of the ways that you can scale through that process is if you don't hide your picture or you just remove your picture from the entire recruitment process. So until maybe when you get to the interview process and then they ask you to put on your camera, then they now see that, okay, this person is actually black, but at least you've gotten the interview. And then what will not sell you out is your ability to convince them that regardless of your person of color or whatever it is that they think they think is against you as a Nigerian or as a Ghanaian or as a Kenyan, you can actually do the job, right? And so I would say that also you want to ensure that you tailor your CV for each application. And like I always tell people, like I would always say again and again, you do not have one CV for all the job that you're applying to. Actually, it doesn't work that way. You have to be able to customize your CV for each job application that you're applying to. You use relevant keywords from your job description. You highlight the most relevant experiences and skills. So say for instance, now I'm giving a scenario. I'm recruiting for an operations associate, and right now I have about 100 CVs. And in the CVs that I have in front of me, there are just 2 people that talk more about the administrative and operations duties that they have, right? Meanwhile, the rest of the people, let's say about 30 people, they have in the same CV, they have the sales, they've done sales representative, they've done business development representative, they've done content and social media manager, they've done growth and marketing operations associate, thereabouts. You can see that in just one CV, you've given me just 4 job field that you've done, right? And it still doesn't align to what I'm looking out for. So instead of me wasting my time as a recruiter just scanning through your profile, if I see the first two experiences don't align with what I'm looking out for, I just cast aside your CV and then look forward to, some other set of people that their CV aligns to what I'm looking out for. So again, you want to ensure that, let's say you have experience as a project manager, you have experience in marketing, you have experience in as an executive assistant, or you have experience as a social media manager. You don't put all of those experiences in one CV. You put them in each CV should carry your project manager. One CV should carry project manager experiences. Another CV should carry, executive assistants. Another CV should carry marketing. Another CV should carry, the likes. So each CV for each application, right? And I would say that you have to be able to ensure that your CV is free of typos and grammatical errors. So there is something that we do as a corporate person where you would, your CV, you just go to ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT to write your CV for you, and then you just do copy and paste. Meanwhile, you actually did not proofread the CV, then you just submit it like that. And so when we're not going through your CV, we now kind of realize that there are kind of a lot of mistakes in the CV. Why? Because you didn't proofread it. So you have to be able to ensure that you proofread your CV, and your CV is free of, grammatical errors and blunders. So finally, I would say that for you to be able to get a very good CV, you cannot necessarily get a good CV if you use MS Word. That's the reason why we have, design softwares like Canva, Adobe Illustrator, that would help you to craft, an innovative CV. You can, if you go on Canva, just type in resume, I'm sure it will bring out, thousands or even multiple folds of CVs that you can use. You tailor it down to your experiences, tailor it down to your skills and your job achievement and every single thing. And I want to also say that you have to ensure that your CV is kind of very easy to navigate and understand, right? Despite the fact that you want to play around with graphs and charts and every single thing, you want to ensure that the person that you're passing the message across, maybe the person doesn't have the time, to be reviewing all of this. So you want to ensure that your CV, while it is being innovative, is also simple and professional at the same time. And also, my final tip is when you are crafting your CV, you want to ensure that your CV is ATS verified. So ATS is application tracking software that we use as a recruiter. So let's say I have 1,000 applications I have to review, and I just put everyone's application in the ATS software. And the ATS will probably just give me maybe 10 people at the end of the day. And the ATS software basically just tell me that, okay, out of the 100 or 1,000 that is applying for this role, about just 8 or 10 or maybe 20 have the skills that I'm looking out for. So I would list out the skills and experiences or the achievements that I'm looking out for in the candidate. And then the ATS software would tell me, okay, these are the set of people that have the skills and achievement that you're looking out for. So finally, you want to ensure that your CV, while you are done, crafting and doing everything, it is ATS verified, in that you don't put too much information at the same time. Your CV should just be like a selling point for you to get an interview, while you actually are the one that will do the convincing in the interview. So it's a different thing for you to craft a CV and your CV gets you into the interview room. However, you don't get called after that. It means that your CV has done its own job, which is like getting you into the interview room. Now, the rest of the job is now in your ability to convince the recruiter or whoever it is that is in the room that is moderating the interview that you can actually do the job, or you have what it takes to do the job that they are looking out for. So I would say that brings me to the end of crafting an innovative CV, and I'm open to questions and comments. Thank you very much. Over to you, Opolua.
Thank you so much, Femi. That was such an amazing session. Please, in the comment section, I want us to say thank you. Let's say thank you to our guest speaker. Let's say thank you. So we have questions. The time we are now is the question and answer session. So I'd like to hear our feedback. What are your questions? From all that she has said, what part you need clarity on. I should be able to answer all of the expectations that you brought, that you mentioned earlier. So I'd like to have those feedback. And then if you have questions, please raise your hand or use the chat box. Please, do you have questions? Questions. So while I'm waiting for your questions, probably in the chat box, or you want to raise your hand. Opeyemi, I don't know, there's this question we've always had on ground before now. I don't know, unless maybe I missed it when you were speaking. It's about the part where we have to put, do we still need to put all of our education background in the CV now? I know you mentioned that we have, different type of CV and all of that, but I just want to know, do we still necessarily need to put background details? Do we still background, a career summary, or what they call it now, or education details about your studies and all of that? Does it matter in a CV?
Thank you very much, Opolua, for that question. So I would say it really does depend on where you're applying to. So for myself as an example, I'm a recruiter and I've been doing this recruitment for the past 4 years. And to be very honest, when I check applicants' CV, the last thing I look at is their education. Why? Because a lot of people studied, agricultural engineering, for instance, and they are doing maybe project management. You can see that, what they studied in school and what they do right now, it doesn't really align. However, I would say that if you're applying to maybe like a graduate training, you can include your education. Although you can actually include your education, probably just your bachelor's degree is fine. There's no need for you to impute your primary school or your high school experiences and all of those things. No, just remove it. Just have if you have masters, you can have your masters. If you have an MBA, you can have your MBA included as well. However, the thing I prefer when I'm working on people's CVs, I like to ensure that when you are adding your education, you kind of highlight the relevant coursework that you've done that relates to your current industry experience. So take, for instance, I studied political science in school and now I'm working in HR. If I'm submitting my CV anywhere, in my bachelor's degree, I just put Bachelor of Political Science, then the school I went to, and then I put the relevant things I have learned while I was in school that relates to, the industry that I'm working in or the field I'm working in right now. So I would say, like, I would impute personnel management as part of the coursework I did. I would impute research, communication, like mass communication and thereabouts. So even though you want to kind of even though you don't necessarily have to, include your education, it's not like a thing that you shouldn't include, but something that should also be there. However, when you are imputing your bachelor's degree, you have to ensure that you are adding the necessary coursework that you did in school that aligns with what you're doing right now. So if in instances where you do not have a correlation, say you did actuarial science, actuarial science even aligns to system engineering. So let's say you did early childhood education in school and now you are a software developer or you are a software engineer or data engineer. You can just put early childhood education, the school, the year, and then just leave it like that. There's really no need for any other thing, except if maybe you did electives in school that align to what you do right now. So I don't know if that answered your question, Opolo. Thank you.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. So somebody has a question. I'll just read it out. So you said in the instance you are moving from a different career to IT. I know that you mentioned this, so I'm guessing the person just need further clarification. Is that the example she has is that she's moving from another career to IT with just the certification. She already has a certification in that, but she doesn't have an experience yet. How do you put it in the CV, considering your previous experiences of non-IT? Like, how do you put, you're just translating to a different career? And I know you mentioned that your CV should not have so many details of various things that you have done. If you are project manager, let's know that everything you're putting there is project manager, right? So this person
Yeah.
is saying with just the certificate, she doesn't have any experience on a particular on that IT that she transitioned to. So how is she supposed to put that in a CV that would still, get the attention of the recruiter?
All right, thank you very much for that. So I'm going to give an instance to answer that question. So I have a mentee that was into, she did law in school, and so that basically means that she's a lawyer, and now she transitioned into there's this thing where she does Salesforce administrator. That's what she's into right now. And then we had a discussion around, crafting her CVs and every single thing like that. So prior to that time, I told her to reach out to people in the industry, in the Salesforce industry, right? Then to see if there's a way she can get an internship, right? So then she was able to get a couple of internship that kind of led to the experiences that she had before she now got like a full-time role in Salesforce admin. So I would say ordinarily there is no CV without experience, because that's what we are looking out for, right? However, the best way that you can get started is to reach out to people in your network or online, LinkedIn. Just utilize in LinkedIn and reach out to them and see if there's a way for you to get like even if it's an unpaid internship. What we're looking out for is for you to get the experience, right? So you get the experience and then add that to your CV. But pending the time that you are, in the transitioning phase, that is when you do the internship, so that you can then craft a CV and use it to apply. I don't think it's professional for you to say you are transitioning from, let me say, healthcare into IT, and you during your transitioning phase, if your transitioning phase is taking 3 months or maybe 6 months, you were unable to do nothing between that period. That is not, that's not ideal. So ideally, one of the things that you can do is probably look for unpaid internship. That's the easiest thing that you can do, which are kind of a lot on LinkedIn. Unpaid internship are quite a lot in whatever field that it is that you're looking for. Look for unpaid internship, add them to your CV, and then from there you kind of do a lot of research. And after doing the research, then you can now, start applying to what's it called, the industry that you're looking out for, or the job that you're looking out for. That's the first instance. And then the second thing that you can do is, so if you are applying to a job, for instance, in my company or in any company, you can reach out to the recruiter, say like a DM, and then just throw a question to the recruiter. Okay, so I have someone that is interested in your role. The person has a 3 years of experience in healthcare, but the person has the certification, and then during the certification process, the person has been able to gather these skills that I feel like are also important in the job that you're applying to, or that you're recruiting for, right? So it now depends on the response of the recruiter. If the person says you can go ahead to apply, then you can submit the CV the way you have it, and then go back and reach out to the person that, okay, well, this person has submitted, the CV, and then we're looking out for your response. So I think that's like the two things that you can do during that period. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Okwemi. And was that, are you person that asked the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Have you gotten? All right, thank you very much. So, do you have another person with any other question? Please, if you don't want your mute, you can use the chat box. We have a few minutes to wrap up this session, so I'm looking forward to a question. All right, so just like Okwemi said about the not having experiences, it's okay to reach out to people, just like she advised for, if it's an unpaid internship. One thing I realized about, should I say, this present generation, is the fact that if the first thing that comes to our mind always is the money part, right? Like, oh, I'm not sure I can do this thing for free. I remembered something. Okay, I can't. Okay, don't worry. Let me say that here. But the person was requesting for money for something that was quite funny. Like, I just need you to do something. You want me to still pay you for that. Right? So I feel like one of the major it's not a challenge though, because everybody needs money, right? But let's say one of the major things that we need to learn, especially when you are transitioning in this part of tech, is the fact that money should not necessarily be the first thing you're looking out for. It should be how you can gather that experience. The experience that now plays a value on you, that plays a worth on you, right? Something that you know that when I gather this experience with what I know, nobody should be able to reject the knowledge that I have because you have been able to. Okay, Okoyemi wants to say something.
All right, thank you. So I think that kind of I want to talk a little about my experience or my background. So right now I would say I have 4 years of experience in HR. Yeah. However, when I look at my colleagues and people that we started at the same time, we are kind of not on the same level. And the reason is because when I started this HR of 18, I wasn't looking at the money aspect, like I said. I took time to, go on LinkedIn. I researched and I looked into a lot of companies that were looking for internships without pay. And it's something that worked for me, something that worked for a lot of people, and it's something that you can also try to look into. So everybody, at the point where we finished school, they were looking at, okay, they want to get a job that will pay them, maybe 200K as a starting point. Me, I was looking for a job that would give me the experience, because I know eventually that when I have the experience, I'm the kind of person that I learn very fast. So I would gather that experience as much as I can, tailor it in such a way that it makes me unique from you, and then apply for jobs. So before I got, the job in Wema Bank, I did like 3 unpaid internship with international companies. I did one with a multinational firm in Korea. I did another one with one in Germany, and then the last one was in America. They were all unpaid, and I was working as a full-time staff. Even though it was intern, it was tasking, but at the end of the day, I got the experience I was looking out for, which was what I now used to get like the job that I did in Wema Bank. And then before then, and the question I would always get is, oh, how did you start out in the HR field, or how were you able to transition so easily? And that's where the unpaid internships are not looking for you to have 10 years of experience or even 0 years of experience. They just want you to be available to do that job. So that's where you now get the experience that you're actually looking out for. So eventually, if you're just moving or you're a fresh graduate, you are looking for what to start with. The first 3 months or the first 6 months of you graduating from school, take time to just look out for the field that you're interested in, do that research, and then consult your network. Do a lot of unpaid job if you can. It doesn't mean that if you get the paid one, you shouldn't do it. But if you get the unpaid one and it kind of align with what you're looking out for, I would advise you to actually take it, because the experience is eventually what you're looking out for. And when you get the experience, then you can use it to get, a better offer thereabouts. So thank you, Okolwa.
Thank you very much, Okoyemi. So I guess that just validates what I was, just still talking about, like going for the experience first, knowing, placing word on yourself such that by the time, look at what your sample Okoyemi just gave us. I mean, she's just 4 years into it now, and she value she already has, might even surpass those that are already even, that they will keep saying they are 10 years or whatever years in that field, right? So please, let's learn to prioritize what is important, what will give you more, give you an edge, right? Give you an edge. I know people who are even, they are even like years, they have a lot of years of experience, they are doing very well. And I still know some of them that they are still volunteering for people, like you just want to volunteer, you just want to be on your team. And I'm talking about people that are doing really well in their various fields already. They started from somewhere, they started from volunteering, and they are still there, till now, still volunteering for a lot of things. So I'm just going to finally just encourage us that, let us put all of these things that Okoyemi has given us, let's put it in our heart and start working on our CVs. If you're a young graduate or you're just switching career, start networking, go on your LinkedIn. Maybe one of these days, we could talk about that LinkedIn stuff. Yeah, so we can learn how to reach out to people on LinkedIn and all of that. We'll look into that maybe one of these days. All right, so we are wrapping up this session. So just to know, okay, Okwemi, you said you will share the PDF with us, right? Okwemi, are you there? Okay, maybe she can hear us. But I think she mentioned that she will share the PDF with us so that if you still need that, you can go through it and it helps you. Fola Shade was talking about an international stock. Were you able to get answers from all that has been said? Fola Shade, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I just wanted to know if your questions were answered. All right, thank you very much, everyone. So before we go, I just want to know if you actually followed. She mentioned about 4 to 5 types of CV. I want to know who can just give me samples. At least she should be able to mention 3. She gave us different types of CV. So I want to know if you actually followed. I need 2, 3 people to mention the types. It's okay if you just can just at least just give us at least 3 out of it. I'm waiting. Are you chat? Are you putting the chat box or you're raising your hand? Which one? Nobody's raising and nobody's chatting. Okay. I think there's a chat. Chronological. And okay. Is anybody speaking? Chronological. Traditional. Thank you, Anna. One more person. Okay. ATS friendly. So I think that ATS friendly is verified, not friendly. ATS verified. Yeah. So I think that was not under the types. She was just letting us know that it should be. So we can also check that online. Okay, I guess we can check for that ATS stuff online and how it will work, right?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. I think somebody asked something. Okay, yeah, thank you, Temi. Functional CV, combinational CV. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for following. All right, thank you. So somebody said, is there any Resume app you can recommend for someone who is interested in adding videos to his or her resume, and with the video pass deep information if it is printed on paper? I think the video is about the digital, but I'll let Okoyemi answer that.
Okay, so video resume only works for digital CVs. And then so resume have, like I said, we have Adobe Illustrator and we have Canva. I highly recommend Canva because Canva CVs are automatically ATS verified. So except if you're probably just changing you're making it unique. However, the skills and kind of the experiences that they use are already ATS verified. So I would recommend Canva. You can use Canva to design and update your resume.
Thank you. Ellen, I hope you got that. Ellen, can you confirm you got that? All right, thank you. So thank you, everyone. Guessing no other person has question, because we're wrapping up this meeting in 8 minutes. Okay, so would share every other thing with us. As soon as we get the PDF, I would ensure that I send it to us so that if you want to go through it, we can still go through it. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time this beautiful afternoon. Over here, I don't know, in some part of Nigeria it's raining. So this raining afternoon, some of us might just want to go and hug our bed right now, right? But you still chose to be here. So thank you so much to our Kenya sisters. Thank you so much. I know it's like 3 o'clock over there right now. Thank you for joining in despite your busy schedules. Thank you so much. And a few announcement. UI UX team. Do not forget that you have a class that was rescheduled for this afternoon. I think 2 p.m. Yeah. So please do not forget to be in class at 2 p.m. And then another information I'd like to pass to us is that let's not forget that as much as we accepted that you should still stay in the cohort, like I'm talking about people who are hardly unavailable for classes, due to work. Some people, I know I've received a lot of mails and messages about why the timing for some of the classes and then the work they do is not allowing them to manage both classes together. So one of the reasons why we allowed some to stay back is the fact that, okay, you know that you can still fall back to the recordings to help yourself. However, the criteria to getting your certificate still stands. You have to ensure that you still try your best to meet up with classes. You still have about 8 classes to go, 8 to 10 classes, I guess. Yeah, you're already going. You're already over a month, close to 2 months already in this cohort. So you have about a month and a half to go. So please, you can still do it. Like I always encourage us, you can still do it. Just try your best to meet up with your classes, meet up with your assignments, and then I'll see you at the top. So if you have any further what's it called, challenge or something you'd like to talk about, please feel free to always send a DM. And please, if you have sent me a DM before and I have not responded, or I responded, I didn't give a feedback on what I said I will respond on, please do well to always resend your messages. I mean, you know the number of people who have on WhatsApp, right? Over on our community, we have over 400 people in the community, and out of the 400, I have quite a lot of you in my personal DM. So it might be a whole lot to track all the messages at the same time. So please, if you have a pending discussion with me about your cohort, please you can resend your messages so I could pick it up from where we stopped. So thank you so much, everyone. We would see in class. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right, now, bye, everyone. You can unmute yourself. Bye. Say bye to yourselves. Take care and have a beautiful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.